All right. What's up, everybody? Podcast time.
Yeah, what's up, man?
One of my best friends in the whole wide world, Nolan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Neal Nolan, pastor of the Palmetto Street Church of God, not Palmetto Pointe Church of God. Palmetto Street Church of God.
It's close.
Ironically, the reason you're called Palmetto Street and the reason I'm called Palmetto Pointe is because you are still on Palmetto Street.
Yes.
And I was on Palmetto Pointe Boulevard.
Yes. Kind of historic in the church. It was more about location. It's trying to find, I guess, be a beacon there, but it's really just finding location.
Now you can call yourself anything. Cornerstone and River of Life, Redemption, and you just pick a name. Lighthouse, you pick a name, and you don't have to be the street or the area. I mean, like, Conway, Church of God. Aynor, Church of God. Now it's like, no, you just be whatever you want to be.
Yeah. I think the location was that, but also they were trying to own the city. But now mindsets have shifted. You're the picture of this, of multiple campuses. And so, but even for us, and even our churches, we're preparing, we've got to change that mindset.
Yeah, we're in Southern Illinois, and they're like, what is a Palmetto Pointe?
Yeah. And that was my biggest question for you. I told you that. I said, listen, Palmetto Tree here is huge history. You know, I'm that guy.
Yeah.
But in Illinois, no.
Yeah, I don't know what Palmetto Pointe is.
So what did you do?
Call Palmetto Pointe.
Yeah. Okay.
It's unique.
It is.
It's unique.
Yes, it is unique.
There is nobody else in the area named Palmetto Pointe.
You win. Everybody in Illinois is going like, what's wrong with that church? But they're talking about it. Yeah, so you win that.
Hey, go to, Neal's one of the greatest preachers I know. Go to Palmetto Street Church of God Facebook page. Caleb will drop a link down there. YouTube, I'm sure they have a YouTube. Go watch some of his sermons. He is an absolute incredible gift to the kingdom of God. But he is a gifted speaker.
I'm honored, man.
He loves Paul.
A little bit. A little bit.
We used to pick on him back in specifically youth camp when we so Neal and I grew up. I grew up in youth camp. Neal kind of got saved at a later season in his life. You came in almost as a worker, probably year one, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But he married the queen of the PD,
no doubt.
And PD is the name of the camp that we went to.
Yeah.
He married the queen of the camp, Miss Jessica Nolan.
She loves it.
And she loves camp. So your love for camp increased even more when you started getting eyes for Jessica.
No doubt.
And so
she wants to date by going to the PD youth camp and riding around and reminiscing about old services. You know,
it's like Valentine's Day, honey. What do you want to do? Let's go to PD.
We're going today on the way home. And she, and we were talking about you last night. Some of our favorite memories is because I don't know if they know this. Now listen, we're tight. I mean, we're tight as we can be. We've got each other's back. I brag on you. I'm setting you up, by the way.
Oh Lord.
And so, as a leader, listen, you were doing things way back then when it wasn't cool.
For sure.
Martley and Hart, who crushed it Tuesday night. Everybody talks about you being the cool pastor, but I remember when you were not the cool pastor.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember when you were being made fun of because you were outside the box when it wasn't cool. Now, and you beautifully have done this, you've made it cool for people to be themselves.
Yeah.
I was trying to present that message, but I was in a box because sharing the gospel, they wouldn't even book you. You got tennis shoes on, you're not coming.
Absolutely.
So anyway,
I preached at churches where I've wore tennis shoes and I've walked in and they're like, what are you doing?
Absolutely.
I'm like, oh, sorry.
Oh, man, we debated ties or no ties.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to hell if you didn't have a tie on.
For sure.
And so, can I say that?
Please.
But anyway, so we celebrate you for that. But our memories with you are at PD Youth Camp late at night. And if your people don't know this,
I start getting numb at night.
Listen,
not unrighteous. I just start getting dumb.
Can I be truthful?
Please.
Oh, you start singing every R&B song.
From high school, I just started pulling them out. I'm
Boys
like,
and Men?
oh man,
Jodeci?
I got them all.
Then you mix a little country with it?
No doubt.
And my wife loves that about you.
No doubt.
So, but I can't sing, but you guys do a great job with it.
Yeah, they'd be like, what about this song? I just start singing it.
Oh, yeah.
Late at night, I remember one time doing balloonograms, me and you. Me and you were the master of balloonograms.
Yes, sir.
And so, so for those of you watching, like, you're like, what is a balloonigram? Like, the kids on camp would buy this balloon that they would put a note inside. They would buy it for 50 cents or $1 or whatever, and they would tie it up. And at the end of the night, we'd have all of these trash bags of balloons oh, to Caleb from Reagan, or to whatever, and you'd have all these
genius move, by the way.
Genius move.
Makes plenty of money.
You making money, and all the kids are engaged,
Absolutely.
and they're super intrigued by this moment. And you and I had so much fun late at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, doing balloonograms with kids.
Yeah. The great thing is when you have the microphone in your hand, you can make up things too.
No doubt.
Yeah. So like a balloon, and it wasn't.
It wasn't nearly as funny as what we said.
Yeah. So you get to choose somebody in the audience. Now I did get in trouble a couple times.
No doubt.
You got in trouble one time.
No doubt.
I actually left you on stage.
No doubt. You walked off and said, I cannot believe you just did that.
If you're Batman, I'm Robin at the time. I left Batman on stage. I'd already got called to the state office when Brother Gary Lewis was here. By the way, he's a general overseer now.
General overseer.
And I have many stories. That's different. But
I've never watched this, so it's okay. Tell the stories.
I got called. I don't know if I can tell that one, but he actually called me to his office, and then you said something one night, and I thought, no, not again. Just walked off. So, yeah, it was a good time.
It's awesome.
Good times.
You are the chairman of state council for South Carolina, and honestly, a lot of people who are going to tune into this are going to be pastors in our state or around the area because they see you on it, and so they're going to say, let's see what the chairman of the state of South Carolina is saying. And you had a meeting yesterday.
Sure did.
Give us some feedback of what's going to happen in the future of our state.
I think the last council,
because we love PD.
No doubt.
You have a lot of PD people watching this. What is the future of the PD and ultimately our state?
And I pray it gets shared. You are too as well. I thought the last council did a great job of setting this up. I know people are saying it's taking years to get here. It has, but let's give some weight to this, because you have people that love the Church of God. They love church, and I know not everybody's Church of God, but you have people that love the Home for Children. You have people that love Malden. You have people that love the residents, camp meetings, because they're emotional attachments.
Right.
The PD as well. Yeah. That's where we come from.
Right.
The part of that is everybody has their emotional attachment to that thing.
Yeah.
Where you and I, as we represent the whole state, so you carry that weight of that, and trying to get everybody to see that it's not nobody against anyone. It's all of us feeling the same way. So coming out of the meeting yesterday, I thought really we were on board together for this. We all understand the emotional attachments.
Yeah.
But we need to be honest. And this is what I've been pushing. I believe our overseer and the state team and state council, we have some heavy hitters on there, type A guys, and not to dominate this part, but here's what we're coming out with. Total transparency. You want to know, ask. You want to know about the budget? Ask.
Okay.
You want to know about things that are going on? I feel like it's incumbent upon us. Now, I may get in trouble, but I feel like if they elect us to this position, we should be willing to say. Now, the rumors are we have more money coming in than any state in the movement. That's probably true. We do. But we also have a budget. We have 2 campgrounds, which I say we have 4 properties.
Yep.
And that was a big change because we have Malden PD, state offices, and parsonages. Is that okay here?
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, inside of those properties, you have so many sub-properties inside of those properties that the property number. So I served on state council 6 previous years. I served my limit. I had to come off. So I am not behind the scenes this time to see all of the numbers, but I was on the last budget review that set the budget for this year.
Absolutely.
I was with you on that committee.
Absolutely.
And we were struggling to find money to be able to hit budget. And so maybe the Church of God in South Carolina has done a great job of supporting, but we're also spending a lot of money trying to keep old properties alive and usable.
And it's not just properties. That is the truth. And that's where I want to say the number's around 30-something% to pushing 40 of taking care of those. But we also do a lot of great ministries from retired ministers. We do 2 youth camps. We help churches, small churches. There's so much that we do that we cannot continue the path. Insurance, I'm going to be transparent. Yeah. I feel like it is incumbent upon us to tell everything. Yeah. And that's what we pushed yesterday. So those who are watching. So
Jerry Madden got on a podcast. I love Jerry. Jerry is one of my favorite people. Straight shooter. Mm. He is absolutely serving on a board with him. I love Jerry Madden.
Absolutely.
I told him whenever he came to preach for me for sacred season, I told him, I said, hey man, listen, I tell people how much I love you and that we're friends. So make sure you act like that whenever you're around here.
Yes.
And his response was, new phone, who dis?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I called him at 7:30 this morning. We were working on something. He's like, really, 7:30? I'm like, I thought you were walking. You the picture, he's like, no, I'm going to get my grandbaby. This is good. So,
but I love Jerry Madden.
Yeah.
But Jerry is a very straight shooter.
Yeah.
And he went on a podcast prior to General Assembly and gave some very pointed
yes.
About PD not having a pool, which they had to retract the next week,
Yes.
Things of that nature.
He was good up to that point.
Yeah, he had everybody on board, and then he said PD didn't have a pool, and it threw us all off.
That was it.
We have officially had to shut down Malden's pool. Did y'all vote to open it back up?
No, sir.
Shut down Malden's pool. We have...
And to be clear, recommendation came from other boards on that part because everybody's making sacrifices, Jamie, and that's it.
For sure.
You cannot continue as we are without making sacrifices.
We have a bunch of retired ministers on the campground,
Sure.
40.
Roughly.
40 retired ministers on the campground, retired ministers or widowers,
Sure.
widowers or widowies, whatever, however you phrase that, that are living on the campground, that there's almost a moral obligation to them to a certain degree. And so you're balancing that. And so,
But let me
please.
But also, this is where when people don't sit in that seat, you don't get on a board like that. There's not confidence, and so you appreciate the confidence of the people. It took many years of that, and I think they trust us.
Yeah.
And I am fully on this to full transparency. I want people to ask me, "What's the budget? Tell me why it's went up." Well, the insurance just did this. This is what it costs to run PD. I'm leaving here today going by PD because there's water coming in. So we got to go get more pictures. Nobody's using it. But when you mention moral obligation, you're absolutely right. But you know what else I feel a moral obligation about that nobody asked me? What about the 300 other retired ministers around the state? I feel that sense of weight too. And we have good people.
My mom, who's a widower,
Yes.
who gets no benefit from
Yes.
the...
Yes, or not as much.
Yeah, I mean, she gets maybe
Yes.
a check. I don't know. I don't know what she gets. I don't want to speak for her. I have no clue what she gets. But
I was over my first time on the council. They put me over Malden Campground, and I thought, man, they're honoring me.
No, they were not.
By the way, you got to go remove these 3 people. Those people gave me a pulpit up there. I love those residents, and that would be the last thing. And I believe, here's my spiritual part. This has been my prayer. It seemeth good to the Holy Ghost, then it seemeth good to us. But I do have a moral obligation as well.
No doubt.
To Sister Grice and Sharon.
No doubt.
And so that's where you as a pastor, me as a pastor, we go, my youth pastor sees this.
No doubt.
My minister of music sees this. You and I see it all, or we have to see it all. We try to see it all. So do I feel a moral obligation to the residents? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I also feel a moral obligation to the person in Sherrall or Bamberg or Rock Hill that calls me and goes, hey, I can't pay my light bill. Can you help me?
No doubt.
You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
So transparency, we had prayer conference here. By the time this podcast posts, it'll be a couple of weeks ago, we had prayer conference here. And we did that couple reasons, but one real reason was cost saving. What did it save to come here?
I asked Mike Wooten, and I'm throwing him up under the bus because I like him. But anyway, I asked him, I said, so we're thinking at least saving $23,000, $24,000. Yes, absolutely. Probably a little more. Not only that, I mean, so
coming here, we saved over $20,000.
Yes, if it's wrong, I'll come back to you. But
by not having to get the ballroom, the audio, the video, the renting, all that stuff, paying all those people, all that sort of stuff. Coming here, you save that much money immediately from your budget.
And I'll find out the number because we just left. But I asked that, and a comfortable number was told yes, absolutely. So, and I said this: if you I don't know how honest you want,
Yeah, honest. No, I love it.
I tell guys all the time, and people look. You're most popular guy, especially at a national level, and I celebrate that. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. But there are times you can blame this on the Holy Spirit, you can blame it on me. But there was a part when I was taking up the offering that I felt and I meant what I said. We're not in competition.
That's right.
So if somebody doesn't want to come here because of you, then just be a man of God and say it.
There's people that don't like me.
Yeah. Yes. People don't like me.
Sure, but there's a. I say don't like me. That's a bad way to phrase it. They don't understand me. They don't understand our ministry. Yeah. I watched the overseer here on Sunday think he knew what our ministry was, and then he sat in a service and he
Same
went,
with us.
"Oh my goodness, this is not what I thought I knew."
Yes.
I watched I won't say his name. Your son, when I was camp coordinator of the PD camp,
I don't know where we're going now.
I took a picture.
I apologize.
I took a picture and
yeah.
somebody drew the Church of God logo on my arm and in Sharpie, and we drew one on Ashton's arm in Sharpie, and I was holding them. I've got the picture still. I was holding them. We were flexing, and I posted on social media something to the effect of, we're Church of God for life, and we already tattooing, whatever.
For our family.
Yeah, just it was Sharpie. It was funny. And there were some people that didn't like that, and one in particular, I was very upset. And then I watched that same person walk in on Tuesday morning as our staff was having staff prayer, and nobody else here, just our staff declaring and praying, and watched him run to an altar and cry and pray in our altar. And I thought, that guy misunderstood me.
Misunderstood. Well, I think, too, as you and I grow as leaders and in confidence, we begin to see our own faults. So those that we thought were against us, or we judged them that way, we begin to say, they just don't know me yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So mine was, he shouldn't be where he's at. Or overseer came and says, the diversity here, people running, and, we got kids with hats on. My son has a hat on the church.
You got kids with, me and you both. We got kids with hats on, and then people in suits.
Yes. Yes.
You have this, you have a very culturally diverse church, not just black, white. You have the Hawaiian family that's, Indian, you're very culturally diverse. So are we here, which is redneck, right? And so you have very culturally diverse church. So do we here. And to be culturally diverse means that many times when, I hope you're ready for this conversation. Many times when people are taking political stances, you and I go, I'm not taking that stance.
No, I'm not. I have my own personal convictions, but
I will take biblical stances. Abortion is wrong.
No doubt. But I'm not crowning anybody as my king. And I've watched politics shift, and they will shift again.
They will shift again.
So when you declare allegiances and you make definitive statements based on people, not knowing their background, I'm not going there. God raises up one and sits down another, but Christ is consistent and same.
That's right.
And that's my vein, Jamie. That's my vein. And so that's what we're going to do. And that way I can sit with people and hold their hands, no matter who's the president or whatever. Yeah. No, man, that's me. And you go as far as you want to, but it doesn't bother me.
No, I think that's very healthy conversation, because people look at us and they go, you both are very influential men inside of our movement.
Sure.
You need to speak on politics. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I will speak on politics.
Yeah.
Abortion is wrong.
Yes.
What other what are yeah, I am conservative in the way I spend money.
So here's where I'm gonna get in trouble. But we also cannot be hypocritical.
Absolutely.
So I'm telling you, I feel like I shouldn't go here. My staff,
nobody watching. Nobody gonna watch this.
I brought them in.
It's just me and you. Let's just have these conversations we have all the time.
So I'm a conservative guy, and just abortion is sin. But I was watching them champion some political causes, and we're against abortion at all costs. So I brought them in. So are you against abortion at all costs? Yes, Pastor, up under all circumstances. And I'm like, I'm with you. Well, what about this? Well, Pastor, that's a little different. And so what we begin to digest is, be careful when you begin to make definitive things, and then you start apologizing. Well, that person was innocent, or that victim was innocent. Well, what about this situation? And what I was getting them to try to do is, be careful before the world baits you in.
Right.
And then they got you.
Yep.
But if you stay in the words in red,
that's right.
You with me?
Absolutely.
So that's where we chose to hang our flag.
I'm conservative in my nature.
Yes.
I want cushion in my budget every month to make sure that if I get a flat tire, I can change the flat tire.
No doubt.
So I am conservative in you look at even the church that we have. We had a hot water heater bust the other day, yesterday, weeks ago, whenever you watch this podcast. We had a hot water heater bust, and they sent us the quote to fix the hot water heater, and immediately the conservative Jamie goes, okay, what else can we do? Can we get a tankless hot water heater? How much is that going to cost?
No
What about this? What about this? Do we know somebody that can do? And so I am just conservative in nature, but I am not championing
No, sir.
a political group
No,
because I feel like if I champion a political group, then I am championing the church.
Yes.
I will champion the church. I stand by what the church should be about.
No doubt.
But I ain't standing by what this political group or that political group or this political thing. I'm not standing by them because they change so much, they morph so much. There's so much deception in it, and it feels like one day I'm going to have to step up and go, my bad, I made a mistake.
If I've not been redeemed or transformed the way I was and called to share this gospel, I would probably be very vocal and make a lot of people mad on some of my own thoughts. But in a sense, you forfeit the right to your own opinions on things because you can't speak to everything. You can't to the guy that goes off because Carolina lost and you want to fight with the pastor down the road. You just lost your voice to look at somebody.
1000%.
And so same way with politics. Once again, we're going to get in trouble.
That's okay.
I remember my grandfather's generation.
Uber Democrat.
You with me?
Uber Democrat. Godly.
We even came up with a different word in South Carolina.
Absolutely.
You know, I remember the party of a certain man in Columbia and said, you're going to get in trouble. You're never going to have me back. Because we would even call for separate rights, at least while the lights.
That's right. That's right.
At least in the daytime.
That's right.
You with me?
Absolutely.
Only to eat our words later.
Absolutely.
And so now that pendulum has swung the other way. And I'm going, I understand American politics. I understand that we have to have things and we need to stand for right and righteousness.
That's right.
You go vote. I encourage our people to vote. Be educated. But when you show up on Sunday morning, we're going to proclaim the name of the Lord.
That's right.
Jesus Christ, Him crucified.
That's
and you know what I blame it on? I'm simplistic.
That's right.
I'm ignorant. I don't have the knowledge these other preachers have that go and man, they look good too. And
no doubt.
Hey, man, hallelujah.
Celebrate them.
Yeah. I'm going to be in Joshua 3 on Sunday, baby.
Don't get me started on Joshua. I love Joshua.
Yeah, Rahab.
Man.
What a concept. First person they meet. Go back.
Unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
And then the lady finds herself in the lineage of Jesus.
Yeah, we try to change it, say she's an innkeeper. But you would have to take out Hebrews 11 and 31.
Oh, come on.
James 2 and 25. You know, it was good. One guy was preaching that. He's like, yeah, she was just an innkeeper. New Testament says different.
That's right.
But hallmark faith. I'm not preaching, just like.
So one of the things you and I are very good at is you talked about I celebrate those guys who are taking the political stances. One of the things you and I are really good about is celebrating people around us that are doing well in ministry.
Sure.
Who's somebody? Let's go. We'll do state or national level. Let's do Church of God.
Can I clarify one thing?
Please.
I celebrate the fact that they feel that that's their calling.
Sure. And there are people that is their calling.
No doubt.
I look at Franklin Graham.
Yes.
Franklin Graham is not Billy Graham.
No.
But he is entrenched himself into politics where they're giving him a voice and a platform in places that I would never have a voice in a platform. Jensen Franklin.
It's some of our own movement.
Yeah, Travis Johnson. Yes. I celebrate these platforms that they're getting. Who else? Kelvin Cabarrus. I celebrate these platforms that they're getting. I don't bemoan that at all.
It's just not my assignment.
It's not my assignment.
It's not my assignment.
There was somebody else inside of that picture with them, and I don't want to leave them out. Church of God guys. Travis, Kelvin. Was Tim Hill in that picture? I can't remember that gathered around the overseer and prayed for him.
Yeah, I don't think.
But anyways, I celebrate those guys and what they're doing. Yeah. And I know you and I will get hated for saying it's not my assignment.
Not my assignment.
Because people will say it's everybody's assignment. And I get what you're saying. But it's not my assignment.
It's everybody's assignment to stand for truth and righteousness.
Right.
But it's not everybody's assignment to be certain things and callings.
No.
My calling is to pastor my people and reach the lost and have them come sit at a table with me and see transformation. I'm just, man, listen, it's ADD, man. Blame it on whatever you want to blame it on. But I am focused in my assignment of loving people.
You got a little ADD?
They tell me I do. So I didn't mean to hijack that.
No. So we're good at celebrating people.
I love it.
So somebody in our movement right now that you'd say, man, let's just celebrate on a podcast somebody that's doing something well.
I mean, we have to start what you did this week. I think this week was not to toot your horn and we move quickly because that's not what you want. But I think what you did this week was good. I thought your people crushed it. But I celebrate the fact that I remember when you started and you were trying to find your way. I had a little footing. Your dad afforded me that, but I thought you crushed it. And so, guys,
I'll start then since you threw that one out and give you time to ponder.
now I got a few, but
Tim McConnell.
okay. So Tim to me is the most unique one now.
I celebrate Tim McConnell.
Tim, cowboy boot wearing, vest wearing, John Wayne looking.
Didn't start ministry until 50-something years old. I don't know exactly what it is. Tim, sorry for getting that wrong. I mean, was in ministry, but didn't start pastoring until a later season in his life.
Yeah. I think Wayne Daugherty had a connection with him. I think Tim went through something in the past. We didn't know how to handle people that walked through trials as if we didn't walk through them. And Tim never stopped progressing. He is an unsung hero. Church of God, Cleveland, you need to come down and see what's going on.
Just go spend a day with him and you will be blown away at his love for people, his love for the Church of God, and his love for the kingdom of God and Jesus Christ.
And so I don't know what I have all day. So the thing with Tim too, going back to your assignment for those that are going to give us hate mail, we're not preaching against those guys that are doing it. That's their assignment.
Right.
Tim is in a sub-mountain, bottom of the mountain setting, upstate South Carolina country. He's speaking their language. He knows what they wear, and he's comfortable being himself. When we didn't used to let people be themselves.
Right.
You're not walking on stage with that hat, Jamie.
No.
You're not walking. You're going to put a three-piece suit on.
That's right.
And you're going to speak the lingo. You got the victory. You got the victory. Church of God. That song y'all used to sing. I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
But Tim, we made space for Tim, and he's crushing it.
No doubt.
And I feel Mr. Tim, he's old. And so you with me?
Yeah.
And I say that jesting, and he's crushing it, and nobody around the movement knows it.
Nobody talks about it.
They just built a brand new sanctuary. I think they're debt free.
Yeah, it went in it debt free.
And
it seats like 800. It's unbelievable what Tim McConnell is doing.
Yeah.
And what is the name of the official town?
He pastors the O'Neal Church. I have no idea.
Is O'Neal the town? I don't know.
You know what we used to do?
What?
Anything above Columbia is what?
The upstate.
No, it's Greenville.
Oh, Greenville. Yeah. No, I call it all the upstate. It's upstate.
And everything
upstate.
down here is
below state. BD. Yeah,
So, but Tim McConnell is crushing it.
An absolute deserves to be celebrated. Give me somebody else.
I'm gonna throw a curveball at you. Little guy in Society Hill.
Cody, man.
So that's my hometown. I always say the first guy that will go there and fight some legalism and step outside the four walls and love that community. It's one of the oldest cities in South Carolina. The young man is a workaholic.
Yeah.
It's something I've talked with him about, but he's crushing it.
I celebrate Cody.
Yeah.
That's where, for those of you who watch this podcast that are from Palmetto Pointe Church, that's where Pastor Joseph came from.
Yeah, it's connected.
That is Pastor Joseph's brother-in-law, and so they have connection there. But diverse. He is fighting righteous battles.
You attend our Socastee campus. He did a Sacred Season Wednesday.
He sure
year.
did. Did one of the Wednesday night services there.
Yeah.
Or was that the one that got snowed out? Who got snowed out? Was he the one that got snowed out?
Oh, we snowed. Oh, I forgot. He did get snowed out. He was the last week.
He was the last week. He was the one that got snowed out.
Yeah. There's some more.
I mean, there's quite a few that I think of. I think of people on an international level that are seeing what maybe Andrew Flippo's doing and bringing him in to preach a prayer conference in Indiana.
Yeah.
I think of people that are even a part of our group. Neal and I do a little mentor group with. I say a little mentor group. It's probably the biggest one in Church of God, but we do a mentor group with some guys, and we do our best to invest. And I think about some people like everybody raves about this kid. And you watched him and whipped him into shape, a Brandon Key of the world.
Yes.
I say whipped him into shape. Brandon's going to laugh at it. But you know what I'm saying? He was a youth pastor for you.
Brandon Key's biggest enemy, he's going to watch this, is Brandon Key.
Yeah.
I don't know who or what or it's just his DNA.
Yeah,
I stand in awe of what he does.
absolutely.
He's a builder. There's no building too big he can't build. I think about building, and my mind goes, take me to Paul. Take me to Colossians. You want to talk about Colossians 1? I'm all in.
Yeah.
And so, but I understand as Mark Lenhart preached, and it was powerful. You know, that's when God puts people around you.
Yeah.
Brandon Key, what he has done in that little town. Now, I could tell you the backstory. Now, listen, I could tell you the backstory of, and I even failed there. Brandon went and tried out at another church.
Mm-hmm.
And I even told him, Brandon, he was going to sell his education. I said, Brandon, you're going to a rural town.
Yeah.
They may take your education as not a good thing.
Yeah.
And so he didn't get that church. I don't know if everybody knows this. So he came back to me. He said, well, I guess I'm fired. And I said, no, you're not fired.
Yeah.
Now, I should have moved him into a different position.
Yeah.
That was my inexperience.
Yeah. Brandon is
Yeah. And look at him
backside
now.
of a mountain type guy that is, it's really cool what God has
And so
done inside
he's
of him.
running 300 something.
Probably more than that. I mean, honestly, if
350, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
In a town, and it's just creative.
Josh Trammell, church planter that honestly, people in our state probably know him more because he was the youth pastor at Chris the Stars Church years ago.
Yeah.
The missions guy. But he has planted a church and has been one of our most successful church plants in the state of South Carolina in the last 10 years, you know?
So why are we so afraid? So we're being transparent.
Yeah.
So I want to throw this out there. I feel like I need to. But even like you're talking about those who, politics, and I mean this the right way, and I'll text him later. You know, Pat Conley's called to that. And he's also works in the Church of God for setting up structures. He is gifted.
He is a genius.
Sometimes I talk to him, I think he's
he makes me so mad at how big of a genius he is.
So sometimes he may not in the past would understand our thinking, and we not understand his. And we have to get in the way, you and I just line up.
Yeah.
This is, but with him, we understand that God calls all these people to their assignment.
1,000%.
You know what I'm saying? And so I want to make mention of that.
And Pat Conley's church may not be doing what Brandon Key's church is doing, but the impact Pat Conley is making in our denomination.
Yes.
The stuff he's writing, the stuff he's from
I've texted him and said, "Are we getting in trouble here?"
Yeah.
What the minutes say?
Yes.
I don't have 5 hours to search the minutes. I win.
That dude's a genius.
I win. See him going to the state capitol and standing there. That I celebrate that. To me, my mind goes, "I can't. That's not me." But that's the benefit of the kingdom. Somebody's the hand, and somebody's the elbow, and somebody. That's what we have to do. So I was going to throw this at you. So like Josh Trammell, why were we so afraid? Can we not celebrate Tim Shirley, who's pastor the Lugoff Church for 20-something years, who's been faithful to his town, who is probably more traditional, and say, this guy's done a great job. But then also say, Pat Conley with the lights, Josh Trammell with the lights and all that, we could celebrate him as well. What is the fear? Why are we so afraid to say, as Paul did to a couple of different people, this man's profitable, but this man is too? Yeah. Just don't.
No, listen. This is you and I. We line up on this, and I think this is great conversation that we've had before. That we're just letting people in on inside conversations with us because this is what we do.
Yeah.
We celebrate. Is it Scott Shirley that's retiring?
Yeah, Scott Shirley. Yeah.
Retiring.
Yes.
Hopefully, well, by the time they get this, I think they said Sunday was his last day. Like Scott Shirley's retiring. Yep. Scott Shirley raised 2 boys to be godly leaders.
That's where I was going. So when he sees this, I pray this doesn't offend him. You hear me?
Yeah.
So Scott Shirley would tell you, Brother Shirley.
Does he know how to get on YouTube? I'm just kidding.
He gets on Facebook, but it's kind of joking. I pray he takes this. And I feel like he will. His most successful thing to me that he's done is not pastor his churches.
Yeah, for sure.
He's been a great pastor. His wife is phenomenal. But if you would tell me that both of my boys will be in ministry and be successful, man, that's all you got to tell me. So I pray you receive what I'm saying.
Go back and watch the YouTube or the podcast with me and my brother. Yeah. And you'll see our heart on this.
Yes.
I don't remember, apart from having gone back now and watched sermons that my dad preached, I don't remember a sermon that he preached.
Yeah. Yeah. But his boys. Yeah. Travis pastors in Orangeburg and where's the other town at? Enory. So you got Orangeburg and Enory, and these guys are crushing it. Michael's in Enory, Travis is in Orangeburg. If Aiden and Ashton are in ministry like these guys, man, job well done, my friend.
Job well done.
Yeah, job well done.
And honestly, like I think of Andrew with Brother Flippo, and Brother Flippo, I call him Brother Flippo. It's all I've ever known.
Yeah.
Larry Flippo.
Did he break the bed and y'all
broke the bed? I slept on the top bunk. He slept on the bottom bunk. He got caught in the wagon wheel at the end. It was great. Anyways, he lit up talking about how his son that had wandered away from the Lord came back to the Lord.
Yes.
And at prayer conference, it wasn't about I preached here, I did this, or Andrew did this or this. It was Anthony came home.
Yes.
And he was so excited about his face lit up. And so I think Brother Shirley would hear that and go, you're exactly right.
The overseer I asked the overseer for two things.
Okay.
One, after the ministers meeting, and it will be announced on Friday, tomorrow. We're going to begin to have prayer meetings at different churches around the state. No politics, church politics, just gather and praying. Second thing was, would he begin to allow Jessica and I, because this is a passion of hers, to begin to touch parsonages in the sense of calling pastors and finding out how we can help with the PKs. That, with our children, that's a part of what we want to do. And so when Brother Flippo, and I've checked on his son many times, when he shared the testimony, and I saw the picture already of both his boys in church together.
Yeah.
If we can't celebrate that, if we can't celebrate those wins, then just close it all down.
Agree.
Shut it down. To know that.
Which is what they're doing at PD. Anyways, keep going.
See, Andrew pastors well, and whatever God calls Anthony to do, I celebrate.
Celebrate it.
I celebrate. Both are called. And so to hold Brother Flippo's hand, so to speak, at prayer conference at your church, and to rejoice that his boys both serving the Lord, to see Brother Shirley retire and say, me and my wife are going to the mountains. I know where he's going. He's going up above Walhalla, and he's going to eat at the Walhalla Steakhouse 4 times a week.
No doubt.
No doubt.
The Lord is good.
And and have his Clemson Tiger shirt on. I know him. But to know that both his boys are in ministry, you said Paul, but Paul said to hear my children walking in the truth.
That's
there. Right. Job well done, my friend.
Job well done.
And so you started this. So we celebrate the Shirleys. We celebrate Josh Trammell. Those guys, they look different. I never understood that. Why does it have to be cookie cutter that we all have to look the same? You took some heat for that.
No doubt.
But now you're the gold standard. I never understood that. And I struggled with that, Jamie, because I had to fit in a box to be myself. 10 years ago, I wouldn't be dressed like this on a podcast or service. Now I'm wearing this today because my wife's in kind of that 90s nostalgia, and she wants that boys to men look, I guess.
So you have a lot of clout in the state.
I don't know about that. But.
So I text you maybe night 1 of Sacred Season.
Okay.
And I said, Johnny I don't remember who all was everywhere. Johnny crushed it. Brad Richardson crushed it. Michael Davis crushed it. There was one more.
You trying to get me with my feelings?
There was one more crushed it. And I said, Trish
Mayer, she's phenomenal.
I said, I want you to know your fingerprint is on all 4 of those people's lives, that because of you.
Oh.
Well, not because of you. Because of Jesus. That's what your shirt says.
Yeah.
Because of Jesus.
I got you one of these.
Through you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Because of Jesus, through you, all 4 of those ministers are better than they would have ever been without you. And at least 2 of them are in ministry, surely because of you. And one of them probably would have ran away from ministry had it not been for you. So you're very influential in so many areas of our state, because of the impact that you made as an evangelist through the years, because of your commitment and your love for people. And you get a lot of hate for being ADD and, I'll call you back and then never call you back. But it's not because your heart is wrong. It's because you got ADD and you forgot that I was going to call you back. And
true, because you've been with me, this, somebody else has then called me.
Yeah.
And that's where I struggle. And that's why our staff meetings are really good now. people are coming to watch our staff meetings, and I'm not saying that arrogantly. That's for me. That's for me to love my staff, but for them to keep me straight.
Yeah.
I can't plug up a computer, Bo.
No, you can't.
These microphones, but I can empower Johnny, who I did lead to the Lord.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I can put him in a room, and Johnny's going to make me look good. And before we walk out of there, they have a leadership lesson and a spiritual lesson, and I'm going to cry over them. Jessica and I are going to weep over them. We're going to pray for their kids. We're going to watch their feet. This goes back to assignment. If I'm too busy worrying, and I'm going to tell you what bothers me. Now, you ask me. So then they'll say it's political. I was loving people in bar rooms before I got saved.
That's exactly right.
So for
me and you talk about it all the time. Like, I was a good friend and a loyal person before Christ.
I still talk to my best friend from high school.
I'm going to be loyal.
Yes.
Certainly even more so after Christ.
No doubt.
We're not doing this to win some sort of political candidacy. And man, there is zero things in me that ever wants to go to Cleveland, Tennessee.
I'm with you.
When I said that at the Rise conference, you saw everybody. You remember that moment?
I do.
I'm on stage and I'm like, I'm not doing this because I want a position. And everybody's like, oh, I can't believe you don't want a position. What?
No.
You know? And so for us, we just love people because it's.
But give me credit, because I'm asking this because some people will say he's setting this up for his next move. You know the moves that we've turned down.
Absolutely.
At times that would have been very beneficial.
1,000%.
But people don't know that. They perceive things or relationships, because my relationships to 2 or 3 people.
Listen, to anybody at Palmetto Street that ever says, Neal's doing this so that this can happen, if that ever gets said at Palmetto Street from somebody grumbling or complaining, know that Neal has turned down so, and to this day could pick up the phone and have any incredible opportunity that he wants.
And I appreciate that. I think the thing that bothers me the most is, and I've had to work through this, is when they say, well, it's political then. And I would say back to them, go with me. Come with me.
Yeah, our mentor group, so political.
Yes. What's the number one thing? We ain't
gonna talk about politics.
We don't waste time, and we don't talk about.
We ain't gonna do this.
We're not gonna do that.
We're gonna stay focused on.
Do we ever talk about some state stuff that are beneficial? Sure. We do.
Like PD's gonna get shut down, and we talk about that, and we try to get them riled up.
We're not voted. They don't. Oh yeah, you try to rile them up.
I try to rile them up,
and then I have to come speak the word over them. Yeah. My wife's crying over there.
And I'm